And I totally failed trying to capture some video of the state of play. I got the video, I got the stuff coming off of the video feed from the state of play, but my audio was so silent. I'm just going to record some stuff over the top of this. And the first one we're looking at is Kenna here. And I just want to say that, I talked a little bit about, my state of play and where I'm coming from right now as a game player. And during the pandemic, I really broke out all my old consoles and I started getting back into, the retro gaming part of gaming. And usually I just keep the most modern consoles, down in my game room, so I can play whatever I was playing at the time. And I have been a huge Xbox fan over the years. And it wasn't always that way. Back in the 90s, about 94, 95, I started doing some research on the PlayStation 1, and I was a huge PlayStation player back then. And I was a day one purchaser of the PS2. I was so excited for that. And to watch that console grow over the years was just freaking awesome. I could not believe the amount of games that they had for that system. To this day, that was just the king of all systems until I really fell in love with the Switch, 1. I was not a fan. Wasn't a day one purchaser of the Switch. I really was not a big Nintendo fan, but the games that kept coming out for that system just had me ultimately excited to be a Switch owner. And I think in the game room, out of the modern consoles, not including the Switch 2, because that just came out, the Switch 1 was my most collected for, between the Xbox, Series X and the PS5. I really liked that, system until now. With the way they're going with the Switch 2 and the games not being on, the media, and, doing these game key cards just infuriates me to no end. And Xbox has kind of abandoned the, physical media realm, and I just don't like that. So right now, my focus is back on Sony and the PlayStation 5. And locally, we have more PS5 games, on the store shelves than we have of anything else. The Switch 1 has tons of games, but the Switch 2, they're very little games. There's stuff on the shelves, but they're really not on that media. And I don't know when I became that old man that says, get off my lawn, but I am that way when it comes to my physical media. I want to own my game. So this is the first Sony State of Play that I am able to sit down and watch, and I was really excited to see what games they're going to be offering. I used to have to, back in the day, go and read magazines to get this. Now we get it online and in video format, and it is so flippin' cool to see this stuff. Now here's a game that I've been really excited to see, this Pragmata. And I'm going to guess that they're just going to show it in this showcase, even though it's coming out within a couple months here. And I actually think it's coming out on the day that the Midwest Gaming Classic is going to be. So I'm going to have to pick that sucker up. And it won't be the first one. I think I picked up a couple other Nintendo games that was released on the day of the Midwest Gaming Classic. So I'll have to wait till that weekend's over to get home to play it. So this will be one that I'm really excited for. I'm skipping over some that I just really don't care about. There was a multiplayer game, I can't even think of what the name of it was, but right at the end of it they were saying, and we're going to go online for a test run so you can help us work the bugs out of it. That's pretty much what they were saying. And that's what they have quality control for. They should be finishing these games out before they put them out for the consumer, and not just do a soft test market where we can go in and do the work for them. And it's such a shame because some of these games require downloadable content to even make them playable. That's a shame. That's something that we're just getting used to. Like we're a frog in the kettle, and we need to stop that. Oh, I know what this game is, and I was excited to see it. This is the Resident Evil Requiem, and this will be a day one purchase for me. I will definitely go out and spend the money on this one just to help support the company and support them making more content, because this is a game that I have played over the years. You know, I can remember getting Resident Evil 2, never playing Resident Evil 1, and going back and playing 1. Oh my gosh, it was just such a fun time to play games with my friends. I can remember many late nights that we were jumping, you know, while we're playing a freaking video game and having to decompress a little bit, watch something funny on TV before we went to bed. But this will be a day one game I'm going to get. Leon's not looking too good there. I'm excited for this game. This is a blockbuster game, and why should I get this one on the Switch 2 if it's not going to be on the media? If I can get this in a physical format completely on that, you know, Blu-ray 4K disc, I'm going to get it there, because at least I got a playable game that I can continue to play later on. And I got a feeling this game is going to give me some nightmares, but I'm going to play it anyhow, and I'm going to enjoy every minute of it. Hope you guys will buy this game as well.
I don't want any more regrets. Whatever it takes, count me in.
And here's another remake that's going to come out, and I'm excited for it, but I am sick of remasters and remakes. Yes, we got some sweet graphics going on our machines nowadays, but let's come up with some new ideas, man. I would love to see a brand new game of the Legacy of Kain. This would be so flippin' cool, but yet, here we go again. Another remake, another remaster, you know, with some extras. And it's just the way they can get more money out of us for the same games. And, you know, on the positive side, you're going to get a younger generation playing some of these games for the very first time. The controls are going to be better. The graphics are going to be better. So I can really jump on the bandwagon there. But give me a new game. Give me something that's gonna, you know, rejuvenate the franchise, even if they did a remake on it.
Remastered launches next month and will be available to pre-order starting today.
And I was blown away by this. It's Dead or Alive 6. Haven't seen a Dead or Alive in 30 years, but now here we are on the last round. And I think I played the last one. I bought it day one when it came out on the PS2, and I think they actually had a Dead or Alive tag tourney, if I remember right. But I suck at these fighting games, but I will continue to buy them because they're just fun. I love looking at the graphics. I gotta laugh, but I think there was an Xbox Dead or Alive beach volleyball, and we were looking at something different back then. But let's get back into the fighting game aspect of this, and let's let these girls kick some butt in Dead or Alive 6.
シリーズを遊んだことない方もぜひご体験ください。あなたに私は倒せない。
Our next title debuted 3 decades ago alongside the original PlayStation, and it introduced the world to an iconic character. Today, Ubisoft and Digital
And I literally got excited when I saw this until I realized it was another collection. And just like I said before, that, you know, the younger generation can get these games all in one big collection and they can have it and play it on their systems, but we are buying the same old games over and over and over again on new systems. And I've done this with Halo multiple times, and it's just ridiculous. But it's nice having some of these collections, you know, on something modern and being able to play it in 4K. So there is positive aspects of it, but my goodness, you know, here we are with Rayman again in 2026. And the goofy thing is you can buy this tomorrow and get it on your system right away if you buy it digitally, but then you gotta wait till June to get a physical game if your store is going to carry it. It's just ridiculous that we keep on buying these games that, you know, that we've had in our collections before, But they do this tricky thing was, if you want it early, which we do want it early, we want it as quick as we can get it, then you got to buy it digitally. And there's schmucks like me that are going to end up buying it again and getting a physical copy of it because that's the way we like our games. But then there's other people that are just going to say, I'm going to buy the digital, and these people that are executives are going to look at it and say, where was the money spent? Was it spent on digital copies or physical copies? And sooner or later, we're not going to have any physical copies. And there is a place for digital copies, and a lot of these indie developers, probably like the last two games that we're seeing here, on the screen, that they start off as indie developers, and that's the only way they can get their game out. So don't get me wrong, you got to have both of them, but man, I like my physical copies of my games. I like owning a game and not being able to lose it later in time.
Launches February 19th.
And throughout the state of play, I've been seeing that little thing on the bottom there where it says captured on a PS5 Pro. And a lot of the games that are showing off the gameplay was captured with the PS5 Pro. How are these games going to play on the PS5? Are they not that great? Are they bogging down? What's the reason that they're showing them on the PS5 Pro as captured? It's really got me curious what's going to happen. I don't want to play a laggy or a blurry game, on that. Is this something I'm going to have to go out and buy as a PS5 Pro? And I really wouldn't have any problem buying one, but the one thing that really just aggravates me to all end is that these video game consoles, in my lifetime, when you're 3 or 4 years in the cycle of a video game, the price drops. I can remember the Sega Genesis, the price would drop and they would throw a couple games in there too. You could go pick another game off the shelf to buy that Sega Genesis. And I have never, in my time, even like this Super Nintendo came out with the Super Nintendo Junior, at a lower cost. I have never seen these consoles like they are now, that they have elevated in prices. The economy is just not that bad where, it constitutes that we got to up the prices on everything. It is ridiculous that something that's 4 or 5 years old appreciates in value that we're paying more nowadays. So I wouldn't have a problem buying a PS5 Pro, but the prices increased so much, it is just ridiculous in my mindset to pay more than what I paid, for it for 4 or 5 years ago. And to me, that's just ridiculous. And I do all my gaming in my game room. Where I'm capturing the video right now is in a little office that I got beside my game room. And right now I have my Switch 2. It's pretty easy to move from one room to the other. And I have another Xbox in here, but I never had a PS5. And since I'm leaning towards going more towards the PS5 in the next, year or two here, I want to have one for this room. And I could not find a good used copy of a PS5. I've been checking pawn shops like crazy, and the day after I check one in my local town, she posts the next day, like 20 minutes before she closes, and it would take me at least 20 minutes to get there, that she got one in. And I went in, it was a digital only copy, and it just broke my heart that I had to buy a digital only copy and then go out and buy a drive. And my Walmart has had a stack of about 6 of the physical drives there, so that you can put them on your digital drives, or you wanted one with your PS5 Pro, you could buy another drive, and they've had them there forever. And right when I buy this, digital version of the PS5, all of them are gone. And I would just, can you check the back room? I was asking everywhere that I could to get one. So finally I just broke down and ordered one at 6 o'clock at night on a Saturday night from Walmart.com. And it said it would have it to my doorstep the next day. And I thought, there's no flipping way that it was going to be there. It was there before 12:24 in the afternoon. So I literally got that drive the next day and now I've got a physical unit that I can play and capture videos. So let's talk about this, the Star Wars Racer, man. I am uber excited about this. The only thing you can get me more excited about a Star Wars game is if I had a game where I could beat the crap out of an Ewok. That would really make my day. But this Star Wars Galactic Racer looks flippin' awesome. This is going to be another day one buy, and I hope that they come out with the physical right away and not wait till later. And this is the Sony State of Play that keeps on giving, because here we go with 007 First Light, and we knew we're getting this game. It has been on the storefront forever, and that's one thing Sony's good at, is putting games that aren't available yet. And you know, they're just doing their advertisement. It's a great idea to do, but I do like how the Xbox has the marketplace where everything's kind of in its own category, and they mix all these games up right in the store, in the Sony PlayStation store, and I just don't like that. I would like to see the games that I can buy right now, even though they got that little icon in the corner that's letting you know that it's not here yet and it's a pre-order, you know, it's something that's coming. I still want it a little easier to see, and that's just one of my little nitpicks that I have towards the store. But I have never really been a huge Bond game player. I played GoldenEye back in the day, and you know, it's a game that I like, but I've never played any of these other ones. So maybe it's time that I pick up a James Bond, you know, game and see what's like. You know, I love the movies.
How does that sound?
When do I start?
27th. And programmer. And here we got Metal Gear Solid coming out, and it's going to be Volume 2. And they had Volume 1. Is it a couple years out now? It's been a couple years since that's come out. And yeah, you're going to take my money, because I'm going to buy this right away, just so I have it again on another console. And I keep on saying that I'm tired of all these remakes and all these compilations, but yet again, I keep buying them and I keep giving them my money. And this is going to be no different. I am going to give them my money right away so I can have these, you know, on the PlayStation 5. And again, I just got to say, I'm going to do this on the PlayStation 5, because more or less I'm probably going to get them all on the disc right there and not have to worry about a digital download. And if I got them on the Switch 2, it might look good, and it might, you know, look pretty decent on the Switch 2, but I'm going to pretty well guess that they're going to be on a game key card, and I just don't want to give, you know, money to game key cards. I want to physically own the game. So I'll be buying these suckers on the PS5. And after whining and crying about all these remakes and remasters, and I get this poster of Snake back there and a box, and I'm just like wondering what is going on, and this tentacle comes out and it grabs Snake's bandana, and I am just wondering what is going on. And then you get this thing called Darwin's Paradox coming out, and it's an octopus, and you're running around. It's a tribute to Snake from an octopus's point of view, and I am just excited for this game. People were trash talking it, but I'm excited to see what kind of gameplay you'd see out of this little octopus. And I'm going to guess that this is going to be the sleeper out of this whole State of Play. When it comes out, this is going to be one of those games that are going to be sitting on the shelf that you're not going to have a problem picking up for, you know, whatever age teen you have or young gamer that you have. Or if you're an old gamer, you might just have a blast playing this type of game. So don't discredit this right away without even playing it or seeing what it's about, because this game could be, you know, the next huge, you know, PlayStation 5 game that we're all raving about. Let's give this a game a chance. And how do you top that? Well, this is how you top that. I was excited. You can hear my voice
Most royal
going ooh, ooh, ooh in the background there because I was hoping this was going to be a Castlevania game and not a remake, but something new. And look, we got a 2D platformer that looks gorgeous, man. Looks like there is some technical gameplay, you know, in this platform, and it's going to be everything that we want it to be. These are the type of games that we should be making. You know, all these cinematic, awesome looking, you know, games like the Resident Evil are great, but this thing could be just a sleeper. And I'm pretty sure that when we picked up Terminator 2 that we didn't think it was going to be any fun, but that ended up being probably one of the most popular games of 2025. And you get something out like this is going to be popular and people are going to love it and eat this up.
we appeal to you. Trevor Belmont, last of House Belmont.
It just says 2026. And something I've learned about in the past, because I missed a few of them, and I was a big fan of getting some of the first ones that came out, but I don't miss these games anymore. Here is another Silent Hill, and I'm going to be picking this one up. You know, these usually increase in their value, but they're good, good thrillers. You know, they actually keep you on the edge of your seat, and they keep you. It's creepy. I mean, it's creepy video games, and it's a great one to play, you know, at Halloween, or a great one to play late at night when you're all by yourself down in your gaming room. And I'm a big Halloween guy. I love decorating for Halloween. We do it big here. We don't do it small. And these are the types of games that, you know, I just don't want to play late night by myself. And I'm usually by myself playing these games anymore. And I can remember back in the day playing Resident Evil 2, and one person be playing and two people be watching, and we would be jumping out of our chairs, you know, literally scared to death of things. And Silent Hill does that. It'll creep you out where it just, the images like this are just freaking, who comes up with this crap? I'm telling you, this is the stuff that nightmares are made of, and I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy this game and start playing it right away. So this is another superb one for this State of Play. And I don't know how many of you guys watch Retro Rob. He's freaking great, man. I love watching his channel. Now he's just doing interviews right now with other people in the industry, which is okay. I'll still watch them, but it got me really excited that they came out with a Retro Rob video game here. I mean, I've seen the trailer already, so I know what it is. But those are the moves that Retro Rob has, man. This dude is a badass. And if you've never seen his channel, I would suggest you go and watch that. He's in the middle of a move right now, so some of the newer content won't be coming up till later. But you'll see that this is how that dude moves, man. He is just phenomenal, and I can't wait to play his new game. I've met him at a couple video game conventions, and he is like the nicest guy in the world. I don't know what's going to set him off in this video game and why he's going to go, you know, back into badass mode, but I'm going to guess maybe somebody came after his dog or something. But the dude usually is very friendly and very nice, but boy, I wouldn't want to get on his bad side ever. In fact, I think I'm going to rush out and buy this game too, right away. I'm not going to wait till it drops down in half price. The dude works his butt off, and I'm going to, there he is right there. It's Retro Rob. Yeah. My gosh, he's got his own game. Wait a second. It's John Wick. well, I guess I'll be playing John Wick instead of playing Retro Rob. But anyhow, if you get a chance, why don't you stop by Retro Rob and check his channel out. He's got a great channel, and he kind of does look like John Wick a little bit. You can hear me in that video still. I must have getting worked up, but I was getting tired of there's just no dates on anything. It'd just say coming soon, or in 2027 or 2026. Just get the game out there, man. We know these games are coming, but when you don't set a date for it, it just raises expectations that this game is never going to come out. We won't say anything about Grand Theft Auto 6, but I know we want a game that works good. We want a game that we're going to be able to play, but coming out with broken games doesn't do the game any justice. Spend the money, test it out, have people play the game, you have quality control, and get a good working game out there day one for the gamers. Don't get a broken product out here. Now we're looking at Bungie's marathon right now, and it looks pretty dang cool. And this was the original game that later became Halo, and Bungie broke away and they went back to do Marathon again. And if you remember, Apple Bandai came out with a video game console called the Bandai Pippin. And and this is one of the games that Bungie did on it, was called Marathon. And you go back and look at that game, you can see the hidden undertones of Halo before Halo was even there. So this is their reimagined concept of what Marathon is nowadays, and it looks pretty dang cool, and I hope that they take off, and I hope they make some good money with this, and I'm excited to play it, and this will be a day one purchase for me. I'm pretty stoked to play some Marathon. At Midwest Gaming Classic, they've had it last 2 or 3 years. They've had an Apple Pippin back there, and they've had Marathon loaded up, and it's always one of those systems that you want to go and look at. And I'm pretty sure with this game coming out, they'll probably have it back out on the floor again. Well, they had a couple people come out and talk about some games that are going to be included in the PlayStation PS Plus online service, and one of the ones they're talking about is they're going to have Time Crisis out there. You know what? Let's get some freaking light gun games out there, and let's get going. I'll buy the peripherals. Let's get these out there. Let's get some Time Crisis out there. Some of the other shooters. I'm ready to get back into light gun games. Now, I didn't know what this is, and maybe I'm a little slipping on my Marvel stuff, but when this started showing some of the other graphics here coming up, I was really excited because it is a Marvel fighting game. And I have bought quite a few of these later in my collecting life, and I've been getting some of the Marvel Capcom games and revisiting those, and they've just been fun. So when I see they've got the Unbreakable X-Men and they're going to be training in a fighting game, I'm just really excited. And the graphics look phenomenal. I love how everything looks like it's a modern cartoon and like a modern comic that moves. This has got me excited. I just want to jump in here and play right now. And these are the games that we should be making. And I'm glad to see them coming out with them because, with reimagining the graphics in a different way, I mean, this is just Marvel and Capcom type of a fighting game done in modern, style of how we do 2D games on, the new platforms. And this looks phenomenal. And instead of having the parallaxing, scrolling in the background, we actually have nice static images that move like they would in real time, and it's just flippin' cool to see those things drawn up that way. The colors are vibrant, and the gameplay is going to be awesome, I hope. February 19th. That's the end of the month. Would have been nice. And I think it was Clayton Morris that I was listening to this week, and he was really excited. Maybe he'd have to go play God of War Ragnarok if they came out with a new God of War, and I kind of saw this coming up here, and I got really excited, and then all of a sudden this comes out, and I'm like, okay, it's the God of War emblem with the 1. Oh, you know, it's got a 2. So I'm thinking, well, maybe. Nope, it's 1, 2, and 3 all together, and it is another remaster or remake. And this stuff's getting a little old. I'm getting sick of the remasters and the remakes. And I know they just had God of War Ragnarok come out, but I was kind of excited, you know, with Clayton Morris. A new one. And after they had the voice actor come out, they had another title pop up with Sony Interactive Entertainment, and it was the same studio again. So I'm thinking, well, maybe here we go. Maybe we're going to get something else, but it's got a little different artistic drawing on it. And it's got that voice. You know, I'm getting a little excited about it, but it is a prequel, and it's going to be God of War Sparta. Is it Sparta or Sons of Sparta? And I'm excited for this too. I like these 2D action platformers. This could be really fun. You know, the artwork looks kind of done in a certain style, and I'm excited for this stuff. And the graphics look phenomenal on some of the ways that the creatures are drawn. And if we would have went back in the Sega Genesis SNES days, and we would have been talking about playing the same style of game back then, we would have died for these graphics. And I'm going to tell you, the gameplay on some of these controllers are just really smooth. It's not like going through one of those NES controllers and just wanting to pound the piss out of it. You're going to really enjoy playing this. And actually, why I'm cutting this video and doing the voiceover, I've already downloaded it and I'm ready to go, and it's available right now today. So I'm going to be playing this tomorrow morning, if not, you know, later on tonight. So those are some of the games that I handpicked and kind of cut out of the State of Play that I really enjoyed. This is my first State of Play that I've sat down and actually got to be able to watch, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to some of these games coming out for the first time in many years. You know, after being on the Xbox platform for so long, even though I do have a PS5 and I've had one, you know, probably since 2021, I am really looking forward to the future of PlayStation. And if you haven't yet and you got this far, I really appreciate if you hit the like button. It kind of helps grow the channel a little bit. And if you haven't subscribed yet, why don't you do that too? Why not? You got this far. And as always, guys, I appreciate each and every one of you. And remember, game on!